Knicks are laying the groundwork to fire their head coach. Everybody sees this coming. Why? Why now? You didn't get Durant. You didn't get Zion. That's not David Fizdale's fault, but the Knicks are going to do this. They're going to fire David Fizdale. I don't know why they don't let it play out. This is a franchise that has no sustainability. The only thing they've had, sustainability in is being inept, and they're going to continue to sustain that. But Durant, if this wasn't a warning sign or a bell or a light that went off that said, when Kevin Durant said, I didn't even consider the Knicks because they're not relevant. You know who they're relevant to? Guys over age 50. Even older, who go, yeah, I remember the Knicks in 70 and 73. Boy, they played great basketball. It's like a great steakhouse in the 70s. That doesn't mean it's a great steakhouse now. It hasn't changed. The Knicks have had players, they've had coaches, they've had, they've lived on their reputation for a long time. Maybe the most loyal basketball fan base that we have in the NBA. And it's a great place to go to the game. But Kevin Durant told you, you're not relevant to today's NBA. And you bring in David Fizdale. Like the Knicks are MySpace. Everybody else is doing Instagram and Facebook. You're so far behind right now. And now you're going to fire David Fizdale. He's a player's coach. How about you let it play out a little bit? What if he wins the next 3? Does that mean he can coach? If you get the number 1 pick in the draft, they missed out on Zion. But the team itself missed out on Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. So, the luck of the draw, they missed out in New Orleans, got Zion. That has nothing to do with David Fizdale. And not getting Durant or Kyrie has more to do with the overall view of ownership, management, and this malaise that is set in at the Garden. And it's been there for decades now. It's like you wake up and they assume that this is, hey, if we fire Fizdale, and maybe they just want publicity. Like I wondered that the Nets have gotten all this great publicity, that Durant and Kyrie and, their playoff team and they're on the rise and they're the best team in New York, all these things. And maybe the Knicks go, we'd like some attention here. How do we get attention? Well, we can't win any games. We don't have anybody wants to come out and watch. We traded Porzingis. We missed out on Zion. Durant didn't even consider us. How about we fire the coach? Yeah, we'll get some publicity. Well, it's negative. No, it doesn't matter in New York. We just want some publicity. So good luck with that. I can be critical of Fizdale with substitution sometimes. That's the big knock on him. But I like him. He's a professional, and players like him. But you're going to fire him, and then you're going to bring in another coach. So you're going to be paying 2 coaches there, and you still have the same product there. That's part of the problem here. The Knicks management thinks they had a great offseason. Okay? They got R.J. Barrett, and I like R.J. Barrett. I think R.J. Barrett is going to be a guy who's, going to be a 20-point scorer in this league, and he's going to play for a while. But, Julius Randle is a nice player. But who are you tuning in? If you're going to go to the game, is there somebody you go, I really want to go see him? You go to see the opposing team. I would go see Porzingis. But other than that, there's no star power there. And then you're asking David Fizdale to all of a sudden be Pat Riley or Phil Jackson. They're not a good team. People in the league know they're not a good team. But you're going to fire David Fizdale, and I do believe that's going to happen. And then what do you have? The same damn roster. Yeah, I would love to if you brought in Greg Popovich and you say, hey, Pop, look at it. What can you do this roster? He'd be like, I think I'm going to retire. I'm good. Yeah, Paul.
Any chance this is a moot point as long as they have the same ownership? And that's the problem, that free agents don't want to play for Dolan. He's got such a bad rep. It's totally apples and oranges. I'm not comparing them head to head, but it's like the Clippers years ago with their ownership. Now, he left under different circumstances, and they're not the same people, but it felt like the Clippers needed an entirely new ownership to take the stink off that franchise.
Yes, they were fortunate that you had somebody like Donald Sterling who said something stupid. Like they benefited. Something good came out of this because Steve Ballmer came in and infused life in there. And he let people do their jobs. That's the key. He let the front office, Lawrence Frank, Jerry West, Doc Rivers, he let them do their jobs. And any great boss allows his employees to do their job without, constantly micromanaging here. And they don't have, the front office has been unstable. The draft picks, it's just a mess. And it starts at the top. But a lot of times, those billionaires don't think they're the problem. Daniel Snyder's the problem in Washington. He's not firing himself. And unless Jeff Bezos buys the team, and don't rule that out, then you're going to have it'll be consistent. The Redskins are similar to the Knicks. Living off what you did in the 70s. Like, man, were we great in the early 80s. We were great. And, okay, and then what? Nothing. So it's not going to change. And it's not going to change with the Knicks either, because you're going to fire your head coach. And David Fizdale deserves better than being fired by the Knicks. But I do think that that's going to happen. I'll talk to Reggie about that, because I don't think you can change it. When you think, and look, I was first on the bandwagon. I was leading the charge. I honestly thought Durant and Kyrie were going to end up with the Knicks. And then I thought, if you get Zion, now you got a playoff team. Durant got hurt. Kyrie was not interested in going to the Knicks. We found out Durant was not interested, and then they lose out on the Zion sweepstakes. So if it could go wrong, it did go wrong. And then you traded Porzingis. I know that it was a serious knee injury. What did they get for Porzingis? Dennis Smith Jr. and some draft picks, I think. I don't, I've seen Porzingis, and he looks pretty good. He's jacked now, but I don't know what kind of player he's going to be the rest of his career. But you at least had some star power. They have nothing. There's no heartbeat there. So I feel bad for David Fizdale. I think he's a good guy, and I think he's a good coach. But he's going to be the fall guy. Because it's not going to be owner, not going to be GM, not going to be the president. It's going to be David Fizdale at some point.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.